There's a couple expectations or myths that kind of have to be gone past. The first is that a lot of executives hear the word cloud and they equate it with cheaper, and so they say, go get me some cloud. By default, cloud is not cheaper. And by default, if you say, well, I'm just going to get some cloud, and your application isn't appropriate to take advantage of the economics, your application needs a whole lot of security added to it in order to meet the requirements in a cloud environment, it's going to cost you more, and that's going to be a mistake. The second thing is a lot of people say cloud computing equals server virtualization. So if I have a virtual environment, I'm a cloud, game over, I win. No, not even close. There is a tendency we all have to have things be black and white. And from a black and white perspective, we're like, I've got a data center today, I won't have a data center in the future. It's actually not true. The reality is that cloud computing provides transformational economics only to applications that can take advantage of that. And the majority of the applications in your enterprise probably can't. And as a result, we now have an addition to the portfolio that gives you cost optimization options. But the rest of the portfolio is still there. The value still remains. So that's a really important thing to understand. Now, what this means over time is you need to take a portfolio approach in how you manage your IT resources. Which ones are appropriate to spend capital dollars on, which ones are appropriate to spend operational dollars on, and which ones have flexible OpEx characteristics to them that they can most take advantage of a cloud. The other thing we have to look at too is a lot of cloud is outsourcing. So I talked about the example before of, I don't do email any better than anybody else does. Why am I running it? Just because you can outsource it doesn't mean that outsourcing it makes it cheaper. In fact, it may not make it cheaper. But what it does do is it frees up resources inside of your company to do something else that you feel is priority. And that's really the opportunity you want to capture, because there's only so much your IT department can do, and those are your most important assets. And the more you can get them focused on differentiating your business, driving profitability, creating transformational business models for your company, the better off you'll be. If you think that the job of the CIO and therefore the IT department is to control everything, you're in for a very rude awakening in the next 10 years. Because first of all, you're no longer in control. And I'll give you a few examples of that. Your users are using instant messaging, cell phones, text messaging, social media networks, cloud-based file sharing services, and other services that you didn't provide. And they are creating company intellectual property on those systems. So you're already not in control of the data. So the role of the IT department shifts from being one of owning and controlling, kind of viewed as the department of no, unfortunately, right now, to becoming the department of yes, but maybe the department of yes, but, where they say, if you want to take advantage of this, let me teach you. You want to be their go-to guy. Right now, you may not be. You might be the guy who runs everything that's legacy in our company, and when I want to do something new, you're the guy who tells me all the things you can't do because of what's already on your plate. If that's the burden, and typically this isn't how CIOs talk, this is how their department talks. So they have to really work on their people internally to change the mindset and change the culture inside the organization. But you very much want to be the go-to guy who says, well, what's possible? What can we do? Help me understand your business process entirely, and I'll look outside of my data center for means to make this possible. If you believe that your career as it sits today is going to be the same in 20 years, you probably are toast. You'll definitely be working for a service provider because the enterprise won't have a lot of value for you. However, if you can raise your value to a higher plane, that's exactly where you'll be needed in the future. If you don't know what your business does, you're going to be replaced, because the value of IT over the future is to know exactly what the business does and to be the person who proactively suggests changes to the use of technology that drive greater business action. So being the translator between IT and business is the role you want to have in the future.